Hello, good morning, welcome to Glasgow Rangers Nation. I'm Owen James and this is all your latest Rangers news. Guys, why do I feel like I am stuck in some sort of Groundhog Day-esque nightmare from seasons past? You go back to Kilmarnock away, 1-0 defeat at Rugby Park under Michael Beale. You go back to the 0-0 draw with Hearts with the Philippe Clement, and now we go to a 1-1 draw against Motherwell at Fir Park. When the fixture was announced, way back when, it was almost kind of written in the stars that it would end badly for Rangers with our opening day struggles, long documented now. We've always had, it seems, over the last few seasons, real struggles getting going from day one. And what's the kind of alarming reality is that by the end of today, we may well be already 2 points behind that lot from across the city. First, I think Russell Martin is partly to blame, but he's not fully to blame for what happened yesterday. And I don't think coming on here or coming on any channel and slagging off the manager is the right thing to do at this point in time. The manager can only work with what he's got. And yes, he does make mistakes in terms of his team selection. And where to start? Where to start with yesterday's performance and yesterday's game? And where to start with this Rangers squad? Now, I don't want to just babble on about the performance yesterday because it's bloody depressing. It was genuinely shit. It was appalling. It was poor. It was lacklustre. It was a reversion to type. It looked like the last couple of seasons. There was no change there. Every time nothing seemed to be happening, the old way of doing things seemed to come back into play where it's go forward, we can't find anywhere to get through, we just pass the ball back, pass the ball sideways, pass the ball back, pass the ball sideways, and it becomes boring, it becomes dull, it becomes about as inspiring to watch as paint drying in an empty room. It really was that dull at times from Rangers. I've got to say that when the team was announced yesterday, I did look at the team and I did think that, Russell, you have got that team very badly wrong again in terms of your team announcement. The biggest glaring, most just genuine glaring error that our manager made yesterday is his continual love affair with Kieran Dowell. What is worrying is the comments that I read during the week that Russell Martin spoke about Kieran Dowell being a long-term option for Rangers, and even speaking about Dowell being here longer than this season, praising Dowell. I've got to say, in all the games that I have watched in this pre-season and this season as it now is, and the competitive games against Panathinaikos as well, Kieran Dowell doesn't serve any useful purpose. I genuinely cannot see what Kieran Dowell offers this team. He looks out of place. He looks like a competition winner who has been handed the right to play at least a minimum of 10 games at Ibrox and 10 games for Rangers. He is probably, without a shadow of a doubt, one of the worst footballers I have ever seen in a Rangers shirt. He is absolute garbage. He would not get a game for the Dog and Duck on a Sunday. He is that bad. Quite what the manager sees in this player is absolutely beyond me. Now, I know our wing options are not exactly plentiful at the moment, but we have Oscar Cortez, we have JD Gassama, we have Finlay Curtis, we have even got Nadeem Bayrami, who can play out there as well, although whilst not brilliant out there, still better than Kieran Dowell, and that is seriously saying something. You've got to kind of sit there, haven't you? When that team was announced yesterday, and it was announced that Dowell was on the wing, if your name's Oscar Cortez or your name is Finlay Curtis, you've got to kind of sit there and think, well, genuinely, have I got a future at this club? Do I genuinely have a chance to if I'm getting dropped, in the case of Finlay Curtis, for Kieran Dowell, if you're not getting a chance to play, I'm a £4.5 million winger signed from a French Ligue 1 team, and I'm getting dropped for a free transfer from Norwich, who looks about as much use as a chocolate teapot. It does defy belief that man is even anywhere near this team. Like I said, he is one of the worst footballers I have seen in a very, very long time in all forms of football. And I've even, whilst I've been walking my dog, stopped and watched a Sunday Parks game occasionally. And I've got to say the talent level on that pitch is higher than anything Kieran Dowell. Kieran Dowell would struggle to get a game on a Sunday League team. He is that bad. That was the first mistake. I think, again, Max Aaron's at left back. Again, huge mistake. Not a left back. I thought James Tavernier, apart from the goal, and he took the goal. Credit to him, he took the goal extremely well yesterday. Was an absolute embarrassment. Not a good leader. to blame for Motherwell's goal completely. Him and Dowell were to blame for Motherwell's goal. He turns off and then spends the next 5 minutes moaning about offside rather than actually doing his fucking job for a change. I mean, let's face it. Are we surprised that Captain Useless, is not going to do his job? And I know I'm going to get hate from the Tav fanboys for this, but I'm sorry. That again showed yesterday why that man should be nowhere near our football team. Rangers legend, don't make me fucking laugh. The guy is not a legend. Willie Johnston is a legend. John Gregg is a legend. Brian Laudrup is a legend. Ali McCoist is a legend. Colin Steen is a legend. To put James Tavernier in that same category as those people is just, it's demeaning. It's demeaning to John Gregg. It is demeaning to Brian Laudrup. It's demeaning to Ali McCoist. It's disgusting. On the whole, I mean, I thought Diomande again, it was absolutely shocking, appalling, looked lost again, which is so frustrating that a player so talented looks so bad. He genuinely looked lost. He genuinely looked like a little boy, in a man's game. And I don't know whether it's how he's been used or what he's been asked to do or where he's been asked to play, but that midfield looked hideously unbalanced yesterday. I mean, absolutely hideously unbalanced. Now, I don't think he was perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but Raskan again was the best of the three. Joe Rothwell, I thought, was poor yesterday. Really struggled, coming to terms with the game yesterday. I mean, ironically, I think, you take the defence, for example, the best defender on the park yesterday was John Souttar. And it's great that we're going to come away from another game where our man of the match is probably Jack Butland, because he pulled off some timely saves to keep us in the game. And obviously there's nothing he could do about the goal, but Jack Butland's probably the man of the match yet again, which is kind of worrying when your goalkeeper is the man of the match every single game you play. It does tell you a little bit about how you defend and how you play. I mean, our press was non-existent in the second half. They played through the non-existent press quite easily. Balls from front to back just took out our entire team. It was genuinely shocking. Gassama, I thought, did well when he was on the park. He played quite well, was potent going forward. I thought Danilo was poor. I thought Dessers was even worse when he came on. He did absolutely next to nothing. What's quite worrying is that if Hamza truly has had his head turned and is not here anymore in body or in mind, he's here in body but not in mind, then we genuinely don't have a striker as it stands at this moment in time. Like I said, you look at the situation. Danilo was exceptionally poor yesterday. Cyril Dessers is, without a shadow of a doubt, one of the worst strikers to ever play for this club, and genuinely shouldn't be anywhere near the first team either. But what's quite scary is he's probably the best option at this moment in time, which shows you how little talent we have up front, which is worrying. This team is far from the finished article. There is a hell of a lot to do in this team, a hell of a lot to do still, and it's quite scary that we're now already beginning the season. We're already 2 points behind them probably after today, and this team is nowhere near ready to actually start the season. We're a centre-back, left-back, striker minimum short of being a decent team. You look forward to the Victoria Plitzen game on Tuesday night, and you genuinely worry, because I would honestly struggle to name a team that will be strong enough to really take it to them, because of the fact that Dowell will probably start again for some unknown reason. The guy is fucking useless. I mean, like I said, I don't want to spend any more time on him. He is that bad. Captain Disappointed will start right back again, even though the guy is past his sell by date by about 3. It's like going to the supermarket today and buying yourself a nice lamb joint to roast and finding it's a week past its sell-by date. It's fucking rank by that point, but you still got to eat it. And that's what we're doing by playing James Tavernier right back. He's like an out-of-date lamb joint that's disgusting. Looks good, but is absolutely foul. The defence, I thought like I said, it's ironic that John Souttar was probably the best defender yesterday. Giga struggled. Aarons was average at best, but he's not a left-back, so I think it's hard to judge him on that left-back performance. We are way, way, way short of where we need to be as a team. Rapid work needs to be done this week to get us into a I mean, look, let's forget the Champions League qualifier on Tuesday for a minute. Let's think forward to the first home game at Ibrox. To be in a position to look like a football team, to look like a team that can actually play football and play football effectively with style, with aggression, with ability. We need, I think, to go out and get at least 2 or 3 new players this week, and one of them must be a striker. We need a striker this week, because I'm sorry, we have 3 strikers at the club. One doesn't want to be here. One looks way out of sorts, and one is just fucking useless. So, I mean, I'll leave you to your imagination as to who those three are. But look, I think we do need to go and get someone this week. It's an absolute must. You know, it would be like trying to get through the week without a single pair of boxer shorts or a single pair of underpants. You know, it's just not possible. You can't do it, you know, without feeling some discomfort in what you're wearing. Rangers are, you know, literally a pair of boxer shorts away. So that's where we're at. Now, Russell Martin was absolutely fuming post-match yesterday. And, you know, look, yes, Russell, I think some of it was your fault because you picked the wrong team and you continue to stick to players who've let other managers down time after time and time again. And this is what frustrates me when I get this abuse from the Tav fanboys. You know, they don't seem to see reality. You get the point, well, loads of managers have picked him. They know more than you. Yes, and they've all ended up getting sacked. You know, or all the ex-players love him. Yes, that's because they're his mates. They're not going to slag him off. Even if you think your mate's a dick, you don't tell people outside your friendship group that your mate's a dick. That's not how it works. You know, let's get a bit of reality on this situation, guys. You know, you're looking, basically what you are, a vile, vociferous minority that is ruining our club. I mean, Russell Martin's right. Some of them do need to drop their ego. There is a real kind of, I don't know, just a false sense of their own importance, a false sense of who they think they are because they play for Rangers, that there's some important, should be respected players, which they're genuinely not. You know, nobody's scared of it. Barry Ferguson, the one thing he did get right last season was the fact that he said that no one is scared to play Rangers anymore. And he's correct. Then nobody is. We saw that yesterday. Motherwell were not scared. And I actually feel sorry for Motherwell. Motherwell, you know, if you're a Motherwell fan and you've caught this video, I mean, respect to Motherwell. They played well yesterday. They actually deserved to win yesterday, I felt. You know, Russell Martin has said that, you know, that this is where his team will be judged. This is where he will be judged domestically. You know, he knows realistically we're not going to win the Champions League. You know, realistically, domestic football is where you are judged as Rangers manager. And if you don't do the job domestically, that's why you end up getting sacked. And I'm not for a minute saying that he should be sacked. You know, he said that basically yesterday we were nowhere near where we need to be, and I'm extremely disappointed and hurt by that. They were braver than us. They were more aggressive than us. There is a default here that at this football club, and it's not one person's fault at all. The default is to revert to type, which is when it's going well, everyone's all in and really good, and when it's not going well, you protect yourself a little bit. It's self-preservation stuff. When you want to just jog around and do what you want to do, there's a big problem. Some of them have to drop their ego. I'll look at us tactically and accept my responsibility in it. But today, it's not really tactical. It's a mentality problem. We've got more than what we deserved, actually. We need to work out who really wants to be all in and who doesn't. And he's right. He's 100. I mean, look, I'm not being funny, but, you know, whatever you think of Russell Martin as the manager, he is absolutely spot on with what he says. He is 100% spot on. It is a mentality issue. Now, for this to be happening time after time after time after time again, it is not the manager that is the issue. It is the players that are massively the issue here. And yet again yesterday, there was way too many players on that park who have been here way, way too long. And look, I get that people out there love James Tavernier, that people love, you know, that love the players that have been here a long time. But you've got to get over yourselves, because these are the players that are holding back this football club. You know, we've won 3 trophies in 13 years. Now, if you think that is acceptable as a Rangers fan, go and support Queen's Park or Partick Thistle, because that's more their level. You know, that's not what this team expects. Rangers are a team that should be winning at least 2 trophies, 1 to 2 trophies every single season, if not winning the domestic treble every other season. This is a team that historically has always won trophies, 9 in a row, for example. You know, has always been the dominant force in Scotland. You know, before 2012, it was a joke to even suggest that Celtic would ever catch up on our trophy haul, and they have, and they've passed it. And, you know, partly to blame, obviously, is 2012 and all that went on around that, but also partly to blame is a lot of the players are still at this football club. The players who have repeatedly let down this football club and are continuing to do so. And it just absolutely frustrates the living daylights out of me that we've got fans that cannot see that there are players, and that they're the players that they love that are the issue in this. absolutely the issue in this. I mean, you look at that team yesterday. Butland was here last season. Tavernier was here last season. Sousa was here last season. Diomande was here last season. Rascan was here last season. Dowell was technically here last season. Danilo was here last season. 7 of that starting 11 were here last season. The vast majority of that starting 11 were here last season. And if you go back, I would say, to the season before, you've probably got, again, a significant majority who were here the season before that. Now, if you have a problem with everybody you meet, as a person, if you are constantly meeting people and you are having an issue with them, it is not them that is the issue, it is you that is the issue. And it is these players that are the issue at this football club. Now, realistically, from that lineup yesterday, you look at that lineup yesterday, Butland, I think, is certainly someone who deserves to be given more opportunities to play. He was very, very good again yesterday, and arguably our man of the match yesterday. I thought John Sousa did very well yesterday. I know that will get me some criticism. I thought Dio was appalling. I thought Rascan was decent. I thought Dowell was absolutely fucking awful. I thought Danilo was fucking awful yesterday. Tavernier was just a joke yesterday. I genuinely believe that there is a lot of changes needs to happen for this team to succeed. And like I said, I think we need a left back. I think we need a centre back. I think we need a striker desperately. And Russell Martin's right. Russell Martin is 100% correct in what he said. The fact that he is saying that this is a mentality issue. This is not at all to do with tactical problems. It's to do with the fact that as soon as the going gets tough, too many players in this team hide. And that's the problem. And it's got to be overcome. It is massively got to be overcome. Guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thank you for watching Glasgow Rangers Nation this morning on what is not a great Sunday morning. And I will catch you on the next one. Thank you for watching. Take care. Speak to you soon.